Why is it that a man can have many women in his life, but only one he can never forget? She may not be the most beautiful or the most perfect, yet she holds a power over him he cannot explain. What is it about certain women that makes a man restless, afraid to lose them, and unable to let them go? That's exactly what we're going to talk about today. But before we dive deeper, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Syc Soul, hit like, and share this video so more people can discover these hidden truths. Carl Jung, one of the most brilliant minds in psychology, believed that the connection between a man and a woman runs far deeper than physical attraction or even emotional comfort. He believed that what binds them, what truly makes one unforgettable, is the way they awaken something hidden inside each other. And once that's been awakened, it can never be erased. Think about this for a second. Why is it that some women, no matter how much they give, are eventually forgotten, while others, who may not have given as much, stay etched in a man's memory for life? The difference isn't in how much they gave, it's in the way they made him feel about himself. Jung taught us that humans are deeply tied to archetypes, inner forces that shape our desires and fears. For a man, the woman he never forgets is often the one who connects with his unconscious, with the part of him he doesn't fully understand. This is not about being the most attractive or the most agreeable. In fact, sometimes the unforgettable woman is the one who is difficult, the one who challenged him, the one who made him face parts of himself he didn't want to face. And that's the paradox. Because she made him feel something no one else did, he cannot let go. So stay with me, because as we go deeper into Carl Jung's insights, you'll begin to see why some women leave a mark that lasts a lifetime, and why once that mark is made, no other relationship ever feels quite the same. Why is it that the heart remembers what the mind wants to forget? A man may move on, build a new life, even love again, but there is often one woman who never leaves his thoughts completely. Why? Carl Jung believed the answer lies in the unconscious, the part of the mind that holds our hidden desires, fears, and longings. When a woman touches that level of a man's soul, she becomes unforgettable, not because of what she did, but because of what she awakened. Think about this. Have you ever heard a man say, "I don't know why, but I can't stop thinking about her"? That's the unconscious at work. Logic doesn't explain it. She may not have been the kindest, she may not have been the most loyal, yet she stirred something deeper than reason. Here is the re-hook. The women men cannot forget are often the ones who made them feel both alive and vulnerable at the same time. She wasn't just love, she was a mirror. She reflected back to him the parts of himself he never saw before. This is why some relationships, even if they end painfully, never really die. They linger in the psyche, haunting the man long after he thinks he's moved on. Jung would say this happens because that woman became a symbol, not just a person. She represented his anima, the feminine image inside his unconscious, the missing half he is always searching for. And so, even if he finds someone new, even if life moves forward, the imprint remains. Because how can you forget the one who didn't just enter your life, but also your soul? Have you ever wondered why the harder you try to please a man, the less he seems to value it? And yet, when you hold back, when you create just a little distance, suddenly he's chasing? It almost feels unfair, but psychology has a clear answer. Carl Jung explained that human desire thrives on contrast. Think about it. Light is only noticed because of darkness. Joy is felt because we know pain, and presence is valued only when absence is possible. Relationships are no different. A man doesn't crave what is always available. He craves what he fears he might lose. That tension is what keeps the fire alive. Now here's the re-hook. This doesn't mean playing childish games. Many women misunderstand this idea and try to manipulate with silence, fake jealousy, or pretending to be busy. But men sense when it's an act. What truly works is deeper. It comes from being genuinely complete in yourself, not desperate for his attention. That quiet confidence naturally creates space, and that space makes him chase without you even trying. Ask yourself, which woman is harder to forget? The one who always says yes, or the one who sometimes says no? The one who always makes herself available, or the one whose time feels rare and valuable? Men remember the rare. Men respect the boundaries that remind them you are not theirs to command. Jung would say that this is because a woman who stands in her own identity awakens a man his unconscious fears and desires at the same time. She is comforting yet untouchable, close but never fully possessed. And it's that paradox that stays etched in his memory. Here's the uncomfortable truth. If a man is certain he can never lose you, he will slowly stop trying to keep you. But the moment he feels he could lose you, he begins to value you in ways he never did before. So the real secret is not about doing more for him, it's about being so complete in yourself that he realizes losing you would mean losing a part of himself. Why do some relationships feel unforgettable, even if they don't last? And why do others, no matter how perfect they look on paper, disappear from memory the moment they end? The answer, again, lies in the hidden psychology of attraction. Carl Jung believed that attraction is not just a choice. It's a collision between the conscious and the unconscious. A man doesn't always choose the woman he should want. Instead, he is drawn to the one who awakens the parts of himself he usually hides. This is why he can meet someone who seems to check every box, yet feel nothing. And then, suddenly, another woman walks in, and without even trying, she stirs something deep inside him. Here is the suspenseful part. The woman he cannot forget is often the one who mirrors his shadow, the part of himself he denies or represses. She brings light to what he hides. And that is not always comfortable for him. In fact, sometimes it even scares him. But it also fascinates him, because in her, he sees the missing pieces of his own soul. Now think about this carefully. A man may enjoy being around someone who makes him feel safe, but he is forever changed by the woman who makes him feel alive. Safety is pleasant. Aliveness is unforgettable. Jung's teachings remind us that human beings are not searching only for peace. We are searching for meaning. And meaning comes from tension, depth, and sometimes even conflict. So ask yourself, are you trying to be the woman who gives only comfort, or the woman who leaves a mark on his soul? Because comfort can be replaced, but mystery cannot. Here is the truth most people don't want to hear. The women men never forget are not the easiest, nor the most accommodating. They are the ones who, simply by being fully themselves, forced him to confront parts of himself he could not ignore. That's why even if she leaves, her presence lingers. And this is the paradox. The unforgettable woman is not remembered because she gave him everything. She is remembered because she awakened something in him that he could never fully explain. Why is it that a woman who needs nothing from a man often ends up being the one he needs the most? It sounds backward, doesn't it? But psychology shows us this is exactly how desire works. Before I explain why, don't forget to subscribe to Syc Soul, like this video, and share it with someone who should hear this truth. Carl Jung often spoke about individuation, the process of becoming whole within yourself. And here's where it connects to relationships. When a woman is whole on her own, she doesn't cling. She doesn't beg. She doesn't bargain for love. She chooses to give her time, her presence, her attention. And because it is a choice, not a dependency, the value multiplies. Think about it. When something is rare, it becomes precious. When it's too available, people take it for granted. The same applies to human connections. A woman who is always waiting, always available, always bending loses her rarity. But the woman who lives with her own passions, her own goals, her own sense of purpose, suddenly becomes the one who is not easily replaced. Here's a re-hook. Many men don't consciously know this. They may chase beauty, They may enjoy attention, but when they meet a woman who is self-possessed, something changes. She feels different. She feels like someone who cannot be controlled. And deep inside, that sparks both fear and fascination. He fears losing her, but that fear makes him crave her even more. Ask yourself, have you noticed how men often chase the women who appear the least desperate for them? It's not arrogance, it's psychology. When a woman doesn't need him, she mirrors back to him his own fears of being abandoned, of being not enough. And instead of pulling away, he often leans in harder, because losing her would mean facing those fears directly. This is why Jung's ideas are so powerful. They remind us that love is not built only on comfort, but on tension, the delicate balance between closeness and freedom. And the woman who masters this balance, simply by being her full self, is the one who becomes unforgettable. Here's the secret. The less you depend on his validation, the more powerful your presence becomes in his mind. Independence doesn't push him away. It pulls him closer, because it makes you rare. Why do men claim they want a simple, predictable relationship, yet often lose interest the moment they get exactly that? Why is it that comfort alone doesn't keep desire alive? The answer lies in one word: mystery. Carl Jung believed that human beings are drawn to the unknown as much as they are drawn to the familiar. The unknown stirs curiosity. It awakens the unconscious mind, forcing it to stay alert and engaged. In relationships, this means that predictability may feel safe, but it doesn't excite. What excites a man, what keeps him obsessed, is a touch of mystery. Now, mystery doesn't mean being deceptive. It doesn't mean hiding your true self. It means not being fully available, not being fully predictable, not giving away every thought and every emotion. When a woman keeps parts of herself private, when she lives a life that isn't completely centered on him, she becomes fascinating. He realizes there are still layers to discover, and that discovery process is what keeps his attention alive. Here is the re-hook. Have you ever seen a man suddenly lose interest in a woman who gave him everything too quickly? It wasn't because she wasn't enough. It was because the mystery ended too soon. Once the chase is over, once he feels there's nothing left to uncover, his mind starts to drift. But when he senses there's always more to learn, more to experience, more to earn, he stays hooked. Jung would say this ties back to the unconscious search for wholeness. A man doesn't just want a partner. He wants someone who awakens the missing pieces of himself. And when a woman keeps her individuality, when she doesn't reveal every corner of her soul too quickly, she keeps him reaching, guessing, and striving. Here's the hard truth. If you make yourself too predictable, he may stay comfortable, but he won't stay obsessed. If you remain just a little unpredictable, just a little out of reach, he will always wonder. And that wondering is what makes you unforgettable. So, the real power isn't in giving him all the answers. The real power is in leaving just enough questions. Why is it that some women a man may admire, but others he truly feels? And why is it the ones who touch him emotionally are the ones he never forgets? Carl Jung believed that real connection doesn't just happen on the surface. It happens in the depths of the unconscious. And here's the truth. Beauty may attract him, charm may impress him, but emotional depth is what binds him. Think about this. When a woman can sit with a man in his silence, when she can understand what he's not saying, when she can see the storm behind his calm, that's when she enters his soul. And once someone enters your soul, you cannot erase them. Here's the re-hook. Men may never admit this openly, but every man longs for a woman who understands him in ways the world does not. He may laugh with many, flirt with some, admire others, but the woman he remembers forever is the one who touched his inner wounds and didn't run away. The one who saw him broken, yet did not break him further. The one who gave him space to be both strong and vulnerable at the same time. Jung explained that the anima, the feminine image in a man's unconscious often carries not only beauty, but also healing. This is why, When a woman embodies depth, empathy, and understanding, she mirrors that hidden part of him, and he is drawn, almost helplessly, to her presence. But here's the paradox. Emotional depth doesn't mean constant sacrifice or fixing him. It doesn't mean giving up your own needs just to meet his. No, the unforgettable woman is not the one who loses herself in his darkness. She is the one who lights a candle in it. She brings presence, compassion, and truth without drowning in his chaos. Ask yourself, which woman would a man remember more? The one who distracted him from his pain, or the one who helped him face it without judgment? The one who only shared his good days, or the one who could sit with him through his shadows? The answer is clear. And this is why some women leave an impression that no new love can erase. Because she wasn't just part of his story, she became part of his healing. So after everything we've uncovered, let's ask the final question. Why is it that some women stay in a man's memory forever, while others fade as if they were never there? The truth is simple, yet profound. A man doesn't remember a woman just because of beauty or charm or convenience. He remembers her because she awakened something inside him that he could not ignore. Carl Jung showed us that attraction isn't random. It's rooted in the unconscious. And the women who cannot be forgotten are the ones who, knowingly or unknowingly, awaken that hidden world. She may have been mysterious. She may have been independent. She may have mirrored his shadow or touched his deepest wounds. But in every case, she gave him more than an experience. She gave him a reflection of himself. It's not about perfection. It's not about being everything he wanted. It's about being the one who stirred his soul, who made him question, who made him feel alive. And that kind of memory never dies. Think back on everything we explored. The unforgettable woman is not the one who clings, but the one who is whole on her own. Not the one who gives everything away, but the one who leaves him curious. Not the one who distracts him from pain, but the one who helps him face it. And that is why, even if life moves on, even if years pass, her presence lingers. Not because she tried harder, not because she was the most beautiful, but because she was the most real. This is the paradox of human connection. We forget those who gave us ease, but we remember those who gave us depth. And depth is what makes a soul unforgettable. So now, as we close this journey, let me leave you with one final thought. The most powerful thing you can ever be in someone's life is not everything, but unforgettable. If this series has opened your eyes, make sure to subscribe to Syc Soul, like and share this video. Together, we'll keep uncovering the hidden truths of the human mind and soul.